we need to change the front of this tree. And so the big challenge we're going to have here is we're going to take it out of this pot, we're going to twist it round, and as you can imagine, it's not going to fit. So we're going to have to reduce significant portions from either end of this root ball to get this back into the pot. We want to make sure that this thing keeps hold of a good core of roots so we don't damage the health of the tree. So we need to start off by targeting those areas that are going to prevent it getting back in its pot. And this is the original front, and you can see once I've taken away that piled up soil, there's nothing here holding the tree. This is my new front. We've got this extra root at the back on one side. These are here on another. And then we've still got these coming forwards. It's just a lot more stable to the eye. And it makes sense that this tree would stand up tall and grow against the winds. That's the story we want to tell with this tree. So just so I know how much of a job we have, this is the new front that I'm proposing, maybe here, versus the old one here. I think it's a big improvement. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if you think I'm totally wasting my time. To get this in, we need to reduce a large section off the front and off the back as well. Now, the way the roots of this tree have grown, we have a lot more scope to be able to remove from the back. So that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to try and keep the roots if I can. If there's roots that we can bend into the pot, that'd be awesome. We can keep the roots, just get rid of the soil. But let's see what we can get. There's a big rock stuck in here. I really want to get it out. Here it comes. What? Huge. So this big root, this is probably going to be our hard stop when we hit the end of this, which is about here actually. Pretty much at our hard stop there. Let's do a status check. Okay. So if it's still not going to fit in. So then we need to still take it back pretty much as we can to this hard root here. We might need to compromise with an angle we could live with. And you'll notice I'm not being gentle. If you're a beginner and you're not repotted a tree in this condition before, it's got a lot of roots and you're not going to get through these roots by tickling it or being gentle. Sometimes you have to be rough to help the tree. When there's roots you want to keep, you want to be gentle there. When there's roots that you need to get rid of and you know they're not going to be in the final pot, then use the effort that you need to get through them. I'm pretty happy that we're approaching a point where we can get this into the pot. I'm going to go around the rest of the edges and make sure we've got all the matted roots off the bottom as well. I'm maybe going to take a bit more of this black stuff off the back. That should still leave us with a good, at least 50% of the soil. So this is where we've ended up. I managed to reduce the root ball from the front here. And in the back here, I managed to reduce it right down. Now we need to get it in the pot. Okay, moment of truth. Okay, fits in, absolutely no problem. Oodles of space all around. So we've taken away soil that wasn't occupied by roots, wasn't helping the tree. We've managed to get ourselves to a place where we can choose our front completely based on the aesthetics. Okay, let's look at some fronts. Original front here, maybe more about there. Let's call that front A. Maybe call this one B. So slightly more rotated, trying to bring this into frame to add to that stability that we've talked about. And then C here. I think I'm going to go with this. We've got roots coming down on all around the tree. We've got a really nice distribution of branches. This is going to be deadwood, 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 possibly deadwood. And then these will all be wired down. Have a small compact canopy at the top. I don't know what the apex is going to be like yet. And that's a discussion for another day. Now I need some soil. I need to work out how I'm going to tie this into the pot. And I would like to try and do something about this strange nubbin here. There. Okay, fantastic. Prepared the pot with drainage screens. I've got wires to tie down the tree to the pot. I'm going to put in a thin layer of soil on the bottom, a thin little mound to fill in any gaps in the bottom of the root ball. But this tree needs to sit as flat as possible in the pot because it's got such a sort of mounded root base style. And I've put some holes through the root ball for these various wires to go through to tie it into place. So let's put it all together. These chopsticks are there because these holes were so small I couldn't see them. Good tip, once you got your wire through the root ball, give it a big old hook to stop it falling back through. That's 2. One more to get through and we're done. Tree is in. Before I settle it down into the pot, I want to make sure I've got my front nailed. So now I need to tighten these. Time to fill it in with soil. Yeah. Right, we've got some sphagnum moss soaked in water. Fairly loosely, we'll put that into any gaps we have. Now to finish up, we apply a thin layer of ground up moss as top dressing, which will grow into a nice mossy covering, over the next few months, which will help to encourage root growth through the entirety of the root ball, which will help the tree to grow roots through the entirety of the root ball.